Batter up.
Rock and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rock and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stacks and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLB Talk with your host Rob and Chris as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're on YouTube, hit that sub button. We'd appreciate it. And also, if you want to follow us on TikTok and Twitter/X at NYMLB Talk, you can follow Rob at Armoroska. You can follow myself at CP7NY. So, Rob, what'd you get for Christmas? We got nothing as Mets and Yankees fans this year.
Yeah, well, like that nice graphic that you made for our thumbnail. The Mets and Yankee fans got some coal this Christmas, and it's not the coal that pitches either.
No,
So-
definitely not. That's pretty bad. Yeah, we both got nothing, and you actually got stuff taken away from you as well to make it even worse. You had some longtime Mets, so that alone has been hard to handle or to get over, right? And then to say, okay, you're taking those guys away, at least replace them with, legit stars or legit players here. And so far you've gotten Polanco and Marcus Semien. So you got some pretty good players there to replace,
Yeah, and we also got Williams,
right? Devin
Right.
Williams. Oh, I forgot about him.
Yankee. We're getting and Luke Weaver. Come on, we took away some of your best relievers there, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I find it funny, right? Like, with Cohen, it was supposed to be spend, and we're going to be great. And now it's kind of like just sitting back and, especially after last year, signing Juan Soto, and then how bad the season ended last season. And then you thought, okay, new offseason, major changes. We're going to add to this team. It's going to be great. And then no, right? So that's why I find it crazy. And the Yankees are kind of the same way. I mean, we're not getting rid of our star players or our, franchise icons like you did, but the Yankees have just been so quiet, okay, we still need a starting pitcher would be nice. Some bullpen help. We still got to re-sign Bellinger or replace him in the outfield. Like, what are we doing here?
And what is going on with Bellinger? Now they're saying, well, it's going to come down between the Mets and the Yankees. Okay, that's what it's going to come down to. But what is it going to come down to? It's like, is everything going to wait until after the new year before we find out what Bellinger is going to do? And do you feel confident that he's probably going to re-sign with the Yankees, or do you think that there's a chance that he might sign with the Mets or go somewhere else? What are your feelings right now since it's been over a month free agency?
Listen, from what you're hearing, yeah, he wants to re-sign with the Yankees, obviously, but you're also hearing he wants a certain amount of money, certain amount of years. You can't blame the guy, but then again, on the other side, you can't blame the teams for not going that much for him because, I mean, the Yankees got him for like nothing last offseason, right? I mean, for nothing. They got him for Cody Poteet, and the Cubs threw in money to trade him. So, I mean, now he's asking for 7, 8, 9 years and $30 million a year or plus. I mean, that's crazy, but. So I don't mind that, I understand both sides, but, the teams are like, okay, yeah, you want to come back to the Yankees? All right, we'll give you 3 years or 4 years at whatever they're trying to sign him for. So I think if a team steps out, right, whether it's the Mets, Yankees, we've been hearing the Phillies, the Dodgers is another team, his former team. So, and of course, if the Dodgers put money out there, he's gonna excuse me, he's gonna go run into them because hey, they're the
Yeah.
two-time defending champs now, back to back. So I could see him going to the Dodgers as well. It's gonna come down to who's gonna offer him the most money, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to most of these guys.
Yeah, and yet listen, you can't blame them. I mean, let's just take Pete Alonso and use him as an example, okay? The Mets didn't make him feel wanted, and Baltimore right now, it's like Baltimore is Pete Alonso is the Baltimore Orioles, right? It's like
Mhm.
that town is going crazy over Pete Alonso. They have billboards. He's all over the place. He loves Baltimore now. It's going to be a great place to raise my family. Of course, they're not going to be raised in Baltimore, but he. I guess Baltimore showed him the love, and the Mets did not show him the love. And out of everything that happened, and I said this before on prior shows, Diaz wanted to go to the Dodgers. So I don't think there was anything unless they were going to overwhelm him. But he didn't even get him a chance to counter the offer. So he wanted to go to the Dodgers. He wants to win a world championship, and he felt that he had the best chance with the Dodgers. Okay. Nimmo, Nimmo's Nimmo. They traded him. What are you going to do? But Alonso is different. Alonso was like the franchise player, the home run leader. When he broke Strawberry's home run record last season, I thought, you know what? The Mets they're gonna make him a lifetime Met. He's gonna hit home runs, and they're gonna have to go after his home run record, which now they are, but it's not that much. It's so to me that was a mistake. All right, letting Alonso go was a mistake. The other guys, what are you going to do? I'm sure Alonso wasn't a problem in a clubhouse. I mean, look at him. There's no way he was a problem in a clubhouse.
No,
So
definitely
to
not.
me, I just think that was out of everything that happened. Excuse me. I think that was a mistake, and it pissed off Met fans. It really pissed them off. But this team is going to be David Stern's team now. It's his footprint on this team now. So we have to see what he's going to do. It's still, the end of December. Spring training is a little while away. So the Mets are going to have to show us what they're going to do. Because if they don't make any major moves and get a bat to protect Soto, like we talked about, they're going to walk him. The Mets are not going to be a playoff team this year if they don't make moves, if they don't get a center fielder, if they don't get a big bat, if they don't get a starting pitcher, right? So they got work to do.
And I think they're definitely going to make moves without a doubt. They're still going to sign someone, whether it's Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger. They are, and one of the big starters I think they're going to sign. So they're far from over, just like with the Yankees. There's definitely going to be a move or two coming. I still think the Yankees are going to make a move, possibly in a trade as well. So we'll see what happens. But someone wanted a shout out. Jenny Diaz
All right.
wanted a shout out. So there you go. But
Hey,
thank
Jenny
you for joining
Diaz.
us. We appreciate it. But listen, both teams still got work to do, right? And thankfully, there are guys still out there to be signed and also possibly to be traded for. So I definitely see some moves coming. It's just bad not for the Mets, but for the Yankees, when you have the Pittsburgh Pirates outspending you so far in the offseason, that's, like something's wrong in baseball, in the baseball universe, when the Pirates are outspending the Yankees in, in the offseason, right? So that's that has to change soon. So, but here's the other good part. Like the Yankees I think the Yankees had a better roster after all these moves than the Mets, because the Mets I think still have more holes, and the Yankees I think they have less holes, but they still have holes. I mean, they still got to add guys. It's as simple as that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they do have holes. But here's another question for you, Chris. Why would the Yankees let Miami sign Fairbanks, right? 1 year, $13 million. The Yankees need some help in that bullpen. What are they doing? They let them go to Miami, and the Mets too, really. It's 1 year.
Yeah.
Well, like that makes no sense to me.
Yep. I know. I agree. As Bill, last year I had Juan Soto under my tree. This year I got a pair of Met socks and Cole inside of them. There you go. Exactly. I think you
I
and
have
every
to
other Met fan feels that
I
way.
have to say Chris. I have to say something to Bill. Bill, I love the puppet with the Santa hat on. Okay,
Yes, that
that
was
was
cool.
great. Okay, so I definitely love that, and I can't wait till we have you back on. In fact, last week, Mickey Callaway said he wants to come on with the Met puppet.
Yeah, that would be a great show, man. Both of them there. I love it. I'd be looking, and I would definitely be looking forward to that. So Bill says anytime. So hopefully we'll get something together with Mickey again and Bill, and that'll be a
Oh,
cool
that'll be
show.
great. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. But getting back to what we were talking about, that just shocked me when I heard that he signed. It's a 1-year contract with Miami of all teams. I
Yeah.
mean, the Yankees. What is going on with the Yankees? What's Cashman doing right now?
I don't know. He's probably sleeping. I mean, we've seen that unfortunately, right? He was sleeping out for charity, but yeah. So, listen, hopefully, and I'm sure they're working on something. It's just a matter of what. Fairbanks he's a pretty solid reliever. He closed for Tampa, so he would have been a guy to definitely sign, especially for a 1-year deal. 1-year deal is nothing. So it really makes no sense.
None.
I just hope by the time we get to spring training, right, and all this goes by and the Mets make their moves and the Yankees make their moves, as long as we get to spring training and we have a good enough team where we say, okay, we can compete with this team. We can compete for a playoff spot, maybe for the division, because right now, I don't think we can. I think Baltimore has passed us. I think Boston has passed us, and Toronto obviously has passed us, right? So,
Right.
you got 3 teams definitely in front of us at this point. And then you got to throw in Tampa. Like I said, I think we're better than Tampa, but Tampa's not a bad team, right? So this whole division is going to be tough.
Yeah, and Tampa is going back to the disaster dome, Tropicana, right? Which is a mess for visiting teams to play in.
And then you look at the National League East, right? Your division. I mean, every team has done something, right, to improve their team.
Yes, they have.
And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, like I said, I still, and you said it too. The Mets are definitely going to be out there. They're gonna be making some moves. So, did I just say Boston? Yeah. Boston's a pretty good team this year. They're going to be a pretty good team. How good? Listen, and they may not be done. That's the thing. We're talking about the Yankees and the Mets not being done. The Red Sox still might sign Bregman. If they re-sign him, yeah. I mean, think about the team that they're going to have, right? So, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, the rest of the way, and just looking at some of the free agents, right? I was talking about this a little bit earlier. I think like a couple of them or a few of them still have the qualifying offer attached to them, right? Like Kyle Tucker, he's gonna end up getting his money no matter what, right? It's just a matter of where he ends up going. And then you got Valdez, the pitcher from the Astros. He's 32 years old. He's got the qualifying offer. I don't think it's affecting him, but a guy like, to me, I look at 3 guys. I look at Zach Gallen, who is 30 years old. Imanaga from the Cubs, the starting pitcher, he's 32. Yep. He's got the qualifying offer. And Brandon Woodruff from the Brewers, right? He's 32. He'll be 33 by the time the season starts. I think those guys, because of that qualifying offer, it's slowing down their market for sure. Because do you want to give up, a first-round pick for any one of those guys? Zach Gallen?
No.
He's not an ace, right?
No.
He's maybe a 2 on his best day, more of a 3 in the rotation, I would say. Imanaga, I don't think he's an ace either. He's a solid pitcher, but I wouldn't put him in the ace category.
Yeah.
And Brandon
Well,
Woodruff,
that
the other
might
guy.
be affecting. Yeah, you,
Yeah.
Chris. I think you're right. That could be affecting what's going on with those guys.
Yeah. I mean, is it affecting Bo Bichette? No. I mean, he's
No,
27 in his prime, right? I think it's just a matter of where you're gonna put him, right? Because he's not a great shortstop. So if he's already come out and said he's willing to play second base, I think that would be great. If you could put him in at second base, listen, the Mets could still sign him. I mean, having Marcus Simeon is not a roadblock here. You could also put Simeon at third, or maybe you could put Bichette at third, right? So you could kind of mix and
right.
match there. Ranger Suarez, he's from the Phillies, great season last year. He's got the qualifying offer, but I think a team would sign him. I don't think that's
I
going to
think so.
stop most teams, you know.
No, not for
Yeah,
him.
Bill asks questions. This is for you. Do we trade Acuna or keep him? He likes him.
I think it depends. If he's in a package for someone like Scooble, then yeah, you trade him. I like him too, but the Mets just have so many kids that are actually ready to play in the major leagues that they could make some deals. They're going to have to get rid of some of them, right? They can't keep everyone. Acuna, like I said, if they could get a pitcher like Scooble, then you got to trade him. But I don't want to see him traded for trash, that's for sure. So for
Right.
me, it depends on who they're going to trade him for. I wouldn't even blink if he was involved in the trade for Scooble. So that's how I feel. That's my answer. Chris, what about you? What do you think?
I agree. I don't know if I like him too, but is he going to be your everyday second baseman, everyday third baseman, right? I don't know if he is going to be that guy. I think he would be a great utility guy to have on your team coming off the bench. He could play multiple positions, maybe even the outfield. He's got good speed. He could be a pinch runner, all that stuff. So I mean, I like him as a player, but he wouldn't be on my untradeable list. You know what I mean? Like you said, if he could be a part of a package to get a guy like a Tarek Skubal or another, decent starter, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that.
And he's not his brother.
Defense, yeah.
Yeah, it's true, but he's not his brother. So
No, he's not a superstar without a doubt, but he's a good, solid player to have on your team. So I would, yeah. I mean, but listen, you got Beatty and you got Vientos. Those guys, and I'm big on Vientos this year. You know that.
I know you are.
If I'm gonna trade anybody, it would be Acuna. If I could base a package around maybe one of the younger starters. Not McLean, but if it's Sprout and Acuna and someone else, for a guy like Skubal or even just another really good starting pitcher, then yeah, I'm going to make that trade for sure.
And you talk about the three young pitchers. Out of those three, I think Tong would be the guy that I probably would put in a package. Listen, he's got great stuff, great arm, but he looked a little shaky and he did look like a deer, stuck in the headlights when he was out there. But I mean, let's face it, his major league debut, he pitched against Jacob deGrom, who came back to Citi Field to pitch against the Mets. So I mean, you got to feel bad for the kid. But if they're going to get rid of one of those three guys, that's probably the one who I would put in the package.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, and teams are going to look for either him or Sprout or maybe both. Like for Skubal, you might have to get rid of both of them. Who knows, right? For a guy like that. But
you might. You're right.
If he becomes available, right? He's been, the big name out there for a trade, possibly yes, possibly no. So at some point, does Detroit pull the trigger? We don't know yet. But yeah, I mean, listen, both teams are going to be busy, Yankees and Mets. Mets do have probably a little bit more in the prospects and guys that are ready to play this year. So I think that's a plus for, like, say, a team for Detroit. Detroit is still, they're still looking to be contenders, right? So if they trade Skubal, they're going to want guys that want to play now. So I think that favors the Mets, right? Because they could give them, one or two pitchers. They could give him Acuna, all these guys that could play right away. Like they'll be on the opening day roster, and hopefully they don't miss a beat, by trading Skubal. But you trade a guy like that, that's huge. But that would be a big move for the Mets that they need to make.
And I think, if I had to put it between Acuna and Beatty, I think I'd want to keep Beatty because he really did show towards the end of the season, he really was coming through, and then he got injured in that end of the season, but he really started to show some stuff, with his hitting. So I think I would like to see him stay. He might eventually become what they thought he was going to become. So between him and Acuna, probably I would want to keep Beatty, but we'll have to see. The Mets, like you said, the Mets still, and the Yankees, they still have to make some moves, and I'm confident that they're going to make moves because, listen, the Yankees, that division, and we've said this for the past couple of shows, the American League East is going to be a beast. Yes, Bill, you're right. Beatty does have a huge upside. But that the East, man, look what's going on in your division, Chris. It's like they all could win it.
Both Easts, right?
Yes,
I think both East has. Think about it. The Marlins are a pretty good team right now. Like they're in a spot where they could trade a player and still be, right in the mix, kind of like at least for a wild card. I don't think they're the Braves or the Phillies in that division where they're going for the division, but I could see them being in the wild card hunt for sure. If everybody's healthy and all that, obviously. But yeah, AL East, National League East, both divisions are very tough this season. And, like it's easy to say, oh yeah, we're going to have 3 teams in each division or 4 teams in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be possible because they're going to be beating each other up, and it might only be one, right? At the end of it, maybe 2, so we'll see.
We definitely will see. Now listen, okay, so since we're talking about free agents and stuff, right? So before the show, we decided that we wanted to make a list of some of what we picked 5. We're not going to say they're the 5 biggest in that order, but just in random, I picked 5 biggest Mets free agent busts, and Chris picked 5 Yankee free agent busts. So let's start with Chris. Why don't you give me your list and let's talk about that free agent busts.
All right, I'll start with the obvious. Well, one of the obvious ones, Carl Pavano. Like, all right, before I get into this list, I just want to say,
okay,
this list brought back a lot of bad memories. So I'm just going to let everybody watching, like, we're not doing this for laughs. This is going to be this is going to hurt some people because I know it did for me looking at this and looking at the numbers. And I was like, God, this is so bad. But Carl Pavano, they signed him to a 4-year, $39.95 million deal. And for that, they got 26 games and a 9-8 and 5-point+ ERA. So thanks, Carl.
Yeah, listen, that was horrible. I tell you, that was horrible. That's a good one to start your list off with.
All right, another one, Kaigawa. That was the answer to Daisuke Matsusaka, I think, when the Red Sox signed him, that other starter, and because I think he was the Yankees were trying to sign him, but they didn't sign him, so they said, "Oh, we'll sign the other Japanese pitcher." Well, signed him to a 5-year, $20 million deal, and we got 16 games out of him, and a 2-4 record, and an over 6 ERA. So, and I think after the second year, they released him. So,
another bad one.
Yeah, some of these other ones, this was bad too, but this was at the end of his career. But and now I seen a post maybe last week where Jabba was talking about him, but he was not a friend to him, Kevin Youkilis, when we signed him. 1 year, $12 million deal for this guy. He batted .219 in 29 games. He batted .219 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs for $12 million. So thank you very much.
Another one.
Yeah. Another guy who actually he wasn't bad, and here's a Met Yankee guy. One of those we brought this up last week. Kenny Rogers,
Oh
the
yeah,
gambler.
he was
After
bad for the Mets.
Yes, yeah. So after a couple of good, seasons with Texas, we signed him. What was it? 4 for 20 at that time was a lot in 96, right before our 96 season. He had a decent year looking at it, 12-8, 30 starts, over 4 ERA. So it wasn't great, I remember. But he was awful in the playoffs for us. Awful.
Uh,
I mean, just
Listen, Chris,
dreadful. I know. Yeah, no,
Chris,
I know what game didn't he walk off the game, right? With a
yeah.
ball, with a walk, right?
Okay, now you got to let me get this off my chest. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
awful for
Bill's
you guys.
getting it off his chest too. Look.
Yep. Okay, so what happens? I'm at Shea Stadium for the home run single. It was pouring rain and everything, and Ventura hits that grand slam single, and everyone's happy, and it was great. But what happens? Bill just told you what happened. He comes in and he blows it, and the Mets lose the playoffs to the Braves. When you finally thought, maybe the Mets after that, grand slam single, the Mets are going to maybe take the series. Nope. So, yeah, Kenny Rogers, not only bad feelings and memories for you, bad memories for me. The gambler. Man, was that a bad gambler.
Yes.
Gamble.
Yeah. And he was really awful in the playoffs. So he only lasted, I think, 2 years with us out of the 4, and then finally moved on to, what was it? He got traded to Oakland, it looks like. So
yeah, that's who the Mets got him from.
there you go.
Right?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And he only
so,
pitched for you guys that 1 year.
Yeah, it was horrible. I don't even want to think about that. All right, so do you have another one? What was that?
Yeah, the last one was the another obvious one. After Cano did not want to take our money, our 7-year deal. He wanted his 10 years from Seattle. He goes over there. He gives away everything. It bothered me more that he left because he would have been, he would have been in Monument Park, all that stuff, but he would have been a major league Hall of Famer, right? With the numbers. I mean, when you look at his numbers as a second baseman, he was phenomenal. And then, of course, the steroids and blah, blah, blah. You guys know that too. So,
yeah.
But anyway.
Another one. There you go.
So the Yankees just had to, this bothers me because the Yankees just had to spend this money, right? It was like burning a hole in their pocket. So they had to spend it, and they threw it at who? Jacoby Ellsbury.
Wow.
Okay. 7 years, $153 million. So for that, the Yankees got 520 games. He batted .264, 39 home runs, 198 RBIs, and 102 stolen bases.
Okay, yes, that was horrible, Chris. Really, do you think? Let's go to Cano for a second, because that was another problem with the Mets too. Another Yankee that the Mets got that. What a waste! But
somehow, right?
Yeah, we do. But remember, we did get Diaz in the trade where we got Cano also, so we can't complain about that. But listen, let's talk about that for a second. You said a monument in Monument Park, Hall of Fame career, but what about if the steroids hit? Would he have had the monument, or would it just be where he is now? He's not going into Hall of Fame, obviously. So what do you think?
Probably not. No. I don't know. My theory is maybe he wouldn't have took the steroids in New York.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. Well,
that makes a lot.
Right? It's either that or number 2, maybe the Yankees knew he was going to, or maybe the Yankees knew he was taking steroids, and that's why they only offered him 7 years and said, hey, if he takes it, fine. If not, then we're not going to go any higher. And he'll go to Seattle because he wants his 10 years. So I'm really not sure. I'll be honest. Maybe if he stays in New York, he doesn't take steroids. There's less pressure in New York for him because, think about it. They had just won the championship. he's not the guy on the team. Like he's not
Yeah,
right. He's not Derek Jeter. He's
right.
not the captain. He's just kind of, oh yeah, he's one of those guys on the team. He's Teixeira. He's like A-Rod. All these other big name guys are there. So maybe there would have been less pressure for him. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there would have been less pressure, and then he wouldn't have got traded to the Mets, and and that was one of the guys that Mickey Callaway. What?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but he's one of the guys Mickey Callaway had to deal with too. So which we talked to him about. But okay, that's a good list, Chris. But I bet you I could top that with just one contract. Okay, and I'm gonna just say Jason Bay.
That
Okay,
was the first time I was thinking about.
of course. He has that great year with the Pirates, right? So
Yep.
then what do the Mets do? They give him a $66 million contract for 4 years, okay? The guy gets injured. He's not clutched. Total of 26 home runs. So $66 million to hit 26 home runs. All right. So could you top that one, Chris? Come on. That's horrible.
I don't know. Let's look at his stats. Let's look at his stats while we're talking about him.
Okay.
There
There you go.
He was really good until he got to the Mets.
Yeah. And the same old song. What else is new? But that's not always true, because we could go over a bunch of free agents that or
Look at
deals
those
the Mets
numbers.
made. Great.
I forgot he went to Boston after Pittsburgh, and then he went
Yes.
to you guys. Look at the
Yes.
year he had the year before. He hit 36 home runs, 119 RBIs, batting .267, 7th in MVP, Silver Slugger Award, All-Star, and then the Mets sign him, and then he does. What did he hit? 6 home runs, 47 RBIs, 250.
That's not bad for 60. Not bad for 66 million, huh? Get 66 million. Really. And he was always injured. All right. So that's my number one. Now these are just, there's no order in them, because I could have so many more than, I said 5 for us to pick, but I could have so many more. Okay. This one's another one. Bobby Bonilla, who we're going to be paying forever. Another one. Great for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So you know what? Listen, people, we used to get pissed with the Wilpons, but the Wilpons did, especially before Madoff, the Wilpons did bring players and try to sign players and everything. But Bobby Bonilla, a Met twice, okay? He was just, we're going to be paying him forever, and he was a bust with the Mets. So he's number 2 on my list. He might be number 2, even though I said we're not in order. Bobby Bonilla, and then he comes back in '99, and he was on that team with Kenny Rogers when the Mets are in the playoffs against the Braves, and Ricky Henderson and Bonilla are playing cards while the game's going on. You remember that controversy?
Yes.
All right, so that's just crazy.
I just want to bring
All right,
up.
so now I'm gonna.
Somebody, hold on a minute before we go. Frank Rivera, you brought up who's to say Cano wasn't taking steroids when on the Yankees. The only thing is they were starting to test, right? 2000. What was the year they started? Was it 7 or 8? 2007.
Yeah, it was around there. I don't know the exact.
And
year,
I think he left after the 2009 season, after they won the World Series. So that's, I don't know if he was, because I think he would have tested positive by that time, or he was just taking some good masking agents or whatever, whatever they call them.
Yeah, maybe.
So, but that's a good point. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying maybe because, but and he didn't get tested positive until late with Minnesota, with Seattle, right?
With Seattle, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So
and then with the Mets, of course. I mean, you think you would learn. You would learn. Think you would learn.
Why learn?
I know. So stupid. Okay, so that Bobby Bonilla. Then I have something that's recent, and not because he was a bad pitcher. We know he was a great pitcher, but for the Mets, Justin Verlander, okay? A lot of money, $86.7 million to go 6-5. He did win his 250th game with the Mets. Okay, but that's when that year was horrible. So the Mets traded him at the deadline with Scherzer, and they got these kids in return. So that part was good. But just as a contract and what happened when you thought Cohen signed, now we signed Verlander. We're gonna win everything. We got Scherzer. Didn't happen. So $86.7 million for a 6-5 record, and his ERA was 3.15, and he was injured. So that's a recent bust. Now I'm gonna go with another bad one. Yes, definitely. Here's another one. Okay, K-Rod, Francisco, right? He not only did he blow a lot of saves, he had like I don't know, he had like 83 saves, but he blew a lot of saves. But the other problem with him was he beat up his is it allegedly, or did they
his
prove
father-in-law or something?
His
right?
father-in-law in the Mets clubhouse. I mean,
right. Right.
And here you thought, because before he was at the Mets, he was lights out. He was a great reliever. And then he comes to the Mets, and
there you go. That's another one. Look, that's another guy. The year before he goes to the Mets, he saved 62 games in 2008, the year before he went to the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to the Mets and he saves 35, 25, and then 23 the following season.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm glad you have these stats ready, Chris. Makes me feel better. Okay. And I have a lot more I could add to these lists, believe me.
Yes,
but
I know.
okay.
No, me too.
And the final one I have is going to be a combination, and I'm going to bring it up because it was last year, and it's part of what caused the disaster of losing Alonso and Diaz. Because let's face it, this all happened because the Mets did not live up to what they were supposed to live up 2025 season. Okay, if they made the playoffs, if they made a good run to the World Series, if they won the pennant, this crap probably wouldn't have happened. Okay, this broken up, but that's part of it. So I'm going to take a combination of last year and our great friend Frankie Montas and Jose Siri. Okay, Montas, 2-year contract, $34 million, and he had an opt-out for the third year, by the way, a player's option. What a bust. What a waste of money.
Games? What do you throw, like 3 games? I don't even want to put up the stats because there's nothing to put up.
and we knew that was going to happen, right? We talked about it before. What are the Mets doing? Okay, so here's my combination. It's the combination of Montas and Jose Siri. All right, another waste. Jose Siri was only $2.4 million for 1 year, but he got hurt before he even started.
I was going to say, I don't even remember him playing for the Mets.
He did play a couple of games towards the end of the year. Desperate move.
Desperate move.
And listen, that who's typing that, Bill or the puppet? Because both both are smarter right now than what's going on with the Mets. And
Dan brings up a good one. I think Soto's signing was the problem. Wow.
Well, listen.
Now we're getting this is a deep conversation now.
It is. Let's talk about Soto signing. Okay. Listen, we all loved it. Let's face it. And he's gonna listen. He's a Hall of Fame player. We know that. He's gonna hit. He started off slow. The Yankees got to him at Yankee Stadium, so it took him a little bit to get going. But by the end of the year, he was Juan Soto, right? McNeil.
Hey Dan, does Dan have a favorite or unfavorite bust Yankee free agent?
Oh yeah, that's good. If he does, just send it in, Dan. Soto definitely will deliver. Bill, definitely, yes. And
actually,
he's young.
Bill had one earlier. I didn't want to interrupt your awesome list. But
Okay, what's Bills?
Bills was
Oh,
George Forster.
yes. Okay, but I was going to mention George Forster. I was going to put him on the list, but I was going to save him for another time. He was a bust because he was the first. Listen, he was big money then.
Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn's another one. You're stealing all my future guys, but yeah,
Ooh, this is another one.
another one.
Robbie
Definitely.
Alomar. There you go.
Yes, Bill. What are you doing to us?
That guy went from Hall of Fame to garbage when he went to the Mets. It was unbelievable. Like it was like a different person.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. They get to the Mets too late, or it just.
Dan says Bellinger. I'm saying Dan wrote Bellinger, but Dan, I want you to
that's
tell me
his favorite.
Worst, give me a worst bust, like free agent bust. That's what we were making our list of the worst free agent guys that we've signed. Vince Coleman, that's another one for the Mets.
But yeah, Vince Coleman to replace. Forget it. Yeah, I don't even want to think about.
Bill must have a list at home right now. On the wall.
Really.
He must have it framed. And he's telling us all.
Anyway, so if Dan sends one, we'll get back to it. But
I got one for the Mets. I remember. What about Carlos Baerga?
Yeah, right? See, I was saving some of these for my future if we did this again. He was another one. Yeah.
PTSD, exactly. So
anyway, okay, so all right, so we got Juan Samuel was a trade,
though. Wasn't it?
It was a trade.
That was a bad trade. Wasn't that the Dykstra trade?
Yeah, that was it was horrible. That was a trade. So we're not. Don't worry, Bill. We're gonna do bad trades, in a couple of weeks. All right. So there we have it. Now let's get to something that's that's gonna be kind of fun. We have the World Baseball Classic coming up, Chris. And we both enjoyed it last time, although I didn't enjoy it so much when Diaz got hurt. But before all of that, we did. Right. We enjoyed it, right? Because we were on SportsWire Radio talking about it. It was pretty good. Let's talk about Team USA right now. What do you think about the players on Team USA?
You know what? I love it. I mean, just look at this right now. I mean, they still got to add some more players, but I mean, when you could run out a lineup like that, right? The outfield, Corbin Carroll, Crow Armstrong in center, and Aaron Judge in right, and then you got the infield, third to first. You got Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Charang from the Brewers, and then you got Bryce Harper playing first base, and then you got Cal Raleigh coming off of his big season, catching. DH, Kyle Schwarber. You got Will Smith from the Dodgers coming off the bench as the catcher, right? And then look at that starting pitching, right? Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, Webb from the Giants, Joe Ryan from the Twins, Boyd from the Brewers. I mean, that's a really good starting five right there. And then the bullpen looks really good. Bednar, Clevenger, Clay Holmes, Met will be there. Griffin Jacks, Nolan McLean from the Mets will be there. Mason Miller, big flamethrower. We've been hearing his name a lot in trades, possibly.
Maybe Gary he'll Whitlock. Be a Met.
Yeah, you never know. Right now, you just never know. I mean, we're hearing so many things, getting back to these moves that the Mets got to make, or the Yankees. I mean, he's one of the names that was coming up, right? That possibly was going to be traded. So you never know.
Chris, you know what the key for Team USA was? I think once Judge said he was going to play, other guys decided to play because like you said, and Mark DeRosa is going to be manager again. But look at the players now. I mean, they could win it all with this team. I mean, they could win it all. This team.
I think the DR team, Dominican Republic, they're really good as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun. I mean, and then of course Team Japan is going to be great too. I mean, they won it the last time, and we remember that was that great at bat Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout. And at that time, they were still teammates, so that made it that much better, right? So,
that was a great moment. That was a great moment.
And I remember in that at bat, he got a pitch early on that he should have crushed,
Yes.
but he just missed it. And I'm like, he's not going to get again. He's not going to get one like that again. Right. And
Right.
of course, Otani got him, striking out. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun, and again, we go back to it. Like, let's hope that the league doesn't mess things up by getting all this momentum. They're going to have the WBC. It's going to be a fun WBC because you're going to have so many good teams, so many good players. Their stars are going to be, in the spotlight. Then you're going to have a fun season, hopefully again. Playoffs, if it's anything like last year, we're in for another great playoff, right? And another great World Series. And then they're going to shut everything down, right? With the work stoppage. So let's pray and hope that it doesn't happen, but let's enjoy this year because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and let's just talk about this. You said the
I think Soto's playing for the DR, right?
Yeah, yes, I think so. Did they announce it? I don't know if he's playing. We have to check that out, Dan. But Chris, anyway, listen. Think about this. This pitching staff. You have to face Skubal and you have to face Skeens, right? And like you said, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean, another one from the Mets. That kid, he's showing me. He showed me last season that he could handle the big leagues. This pitching staff is amazing. I'll tell you, it is amazing.
Yep. No doubt.
Oh, what do you got?
I think this is it. I'll bring this up.
Okay. Oh, De La Cruz is playing, of course.
Yeah, that I think is the lineup right now, or the players that are saying that they're willing to play. So that's look at that outfield. Tatis, Rodriguez, and Soto in the outfield.
Yeah.
Manny Machado at third with Junior Caminero, the rookie. Then you got Pena and De La Cruz at short. Ketel Marte at second. Vladdy at first. Yana Diaz catching. Sandy pitching. This is, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got this team, Team USA, and of course, Japan is going to be great.
Yeah.
So that's three, top flight teams that could win it all.
So it's going to be. I'm looking forward to watching WBC this year. I hope there's no injuries because listen, these players take it seriously. Okay, to them, the players, the Latin players especially. I'm not everyone, of course, but to them it's like their World Series. They playing for the pride of their country, and they really get into it. So it's going to be a really good WBC tournament, and I'm looking forward to it, Chris.
No, me too. I really can't wait for it because spring training kind of drags on a little bit, right? Like it's right. Exciting when it first comes on, but it's like it's a whole month of practice games, so it's kind of stinks, and you don't see the starters playing that much. They only play a few innings, and then you see these guys that you're never going to see again, come in after them. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Here's another thing. Next week, we should hear, or we're going to hear by next week, if the other two Japanese players are going to sign, right?
That's
the pitcher, Amai, and Okamoto. I think January 2nd for Amai, and Okamoto is the 4th of January. So we're going to hear. We should be. Listen, we're about a week away now. So we should start hearing things. But it's really been quiet. Maybe tomorrow the Mets sign one of them in the Yankees. Like, we don't know. Like, you don't even hear rumors. You don't even hear like, oh, this team is interested or they're talking. So I don't know. Both our teams right now could use both players. So they're both needs, right? Amai, he may not be an ace, but he's a pretty good 2 or 3 pitcher. So either one of us could use him. And Okamoto plays first and third. He's got a good glove. He's a pretty good hitter. So yeah, we could both use him too, right? So I don't think we're going to sign either one. I'll be honest, just from what we're hearing with money with the Yankees. Sounds like it's Bellinger or it's going to be a trade for somebody. So maybe you guys will trade for him.
Well, we'll have to see.
I'll sign him.
Everyone, on social media, they're crying that Steve Cohen only wants the casino. Steve Cohen only cares about the casino. That's what this was all about and all that stuff. Let's just see what happens. Let's calm down. Listen, guys, Alonso's gone. Nimmo's gone. Diaz is gone. There's nothing we could do about it. It's over. Like Chris had to do last year with Soto. You got to move on. So we got to move on. Yeah, Pete hurts the most, but what are you going to do? There's nothing you could do. We wish him well in Baltimore, and we touched on this the other day. What happens if he's a bust this first year in Baltimore? Is it like New York because they are making him to be, the face? He's become the face of their franchise really, really fast. So what happens if he has a rough first year because he's putting a lot of pressure on himself? Do you think they turn on him like here, or do you think it's more mellow there?
I think it's more mellow. I think they'll definitely. I don't think they're going to boo him. Like if it was New York, like within a month you're getting booed, right? If you start off slow, like Soto started getting booed, right off.
Yep.
It was pretty quick, and I'm like, Soto is Soto. Don't worry, he's going to be fine. He's starting off slow. Who cares, right? But yeah, I mean, I think if he starts off slow, maybe he gets booed a little bit, but it's nothing like New York. Baltimore is kind of laid back, like he said. Yeah, I mean, listen, is there a chance that he does have a bad year, in his first year there? Of course, we see that all the time. A player, when they first move to another team, they always have that first year to kind of get used to it. But he's going from New York to Baltimore. So if it was the other way, you could see it, right? But New York to Baltimore, he should be fine. I'm just saying, like, he's had the pressure, right? He's already played in the big games. He's played in the biggest games already. So, and he's played in New York. So he's played in the Subway Series against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, all that stuff. So I don't think, and he won the home run derby, 2 times, 3 times already?
2 times. Yep. 2 times in a row.
I think he'll be fine there. I'll be honest. I know, listen, I'm sure there's some Met fans out there that are hoping he doesn't have a good year, right? But I'm sure he's going to have a pretty solid season.
Yeah, I can't hope for the guy to have a bad season. I can't, listen, it's a business. The Mets, listen, you're going to sign. If Baltimore gives you that contract, you're going to sign with Baltimore. All right. It's not like it used to be. Maybe Judge will see that Judge will be the last person to give a home team discount. Maybe those days are over. Who knows? But we don't even know with this new contract coming up what's going to happen. So we can't. We just hope, like Chris said before, that baseball does not screw this up. That MLB doesn't mess it up. That the players' union doesn't mess this up, because they're never going to be ahead of the NFL like they used to be, right? But now they're in second place, and they're building it, the best postseason in years. Don't blow it, guys. Right, Chris?
Right, exactly. That's the best way to say it. Like, just don't blow this. You got all the momentum in the world coming your way. Like, just don't blow it. All right.
That's what I say.
Here's Dan's bust for the Yankees, Tom Tresh. I'm going to have to look him up. I'll look him up right now. Let's bring up his stats. Let's see.
Yeah, let's look that up. Yeah, listen, Dan's been a Yankee fan for, his whole life. So, what do you say, 70 years or so. So Dan's seen it all. Let's see.
He had a couple of good years, right, with the Yankees?
Yeah, what years? I can't see that well on my screen. So what years is that?
62. He must. I think he was his favorite player. I don't think his bust, right?
Oh, okay.
Was my bust? Yeah,
he's was his bust. Okay. free agency wasn't there. There wasn't free agency like that then. But okay, that was
Right.
his bust. All right, that's a good one, Dan. Chris, out of all the ones you named and all the Yankees ones, which is the one that you feel is your worst bust out of the ones you named?
Oh.
If you
It's
had to
so
pick one,
hard because there was others that we had, but
yeah,
I think I'll just say Ellsbury just because of losing Cano, right? Cano going to Seattle and then them
yeah,
just throwing the money at at Ellsbury, and then he just completely was nothing. And he had that one big year with the Red Sox, and he basically cashed that one big year in, right? So I'll say him, and because it was 7 years, 153. The other guys were 4 years, 2 years, so it wasn't horrible. And one, like the other guy was only 1 year. So I felt like I guess it has to be Ellsbury because it's just so long. And it was awful.
In the Yankees, another bust for the Yankees a long time ago though was Don Gullett, right? He was a great pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, but when he pitched for the Yankees, not so good. So
The
he
other guy
was.
from the Reds too. Didn't they sign Eastwick? That
Oh,
other
I forgot
starting
about
pitcher.
that.
He's another one that came over, and he wasn't good either.
But that happens.
Eddie
But then,
Whitson. You remember Eddie
yeah.
Whitson? That was
He
if that
couldn't.
was a
He
poop,
couldn't listen.
that was the ultimate poop show there.
Yeah,
When he
he
came
couldn't
here.
pitch in New York. He couldn't
No.
pitch in New York.
And then he goes Then he goes back to San Diego and has a career year. He gets like 17 wins the year he leaves. It's like
Yeah.
he was in a
Well,
fight with Billy Martin too. That was just a complete that was when the Yankees were a total embarrassment in the
yeah,
80s.
but who wasn't in a fight with Billy Martin? Okay,
Right, yeah, I guess so. I guess you want to say it that way.
They talk about stuff now, right? And with these players, but just think about what they did with the drinking and the speed and popping those pills. This stuff's always gone on in baseball, Chris.
And think about it, Reggie and Billy Martin fought. Imagine
Yeah.
your biggest star fighting with your manager in the dugout during a game.
And that was on national TV. That's another
Right.
reason why it was so
Imagine
big.
Judge and Boone fighting each other, or Soto and Mendoza, right in the middle of a game. But the worst part was he took him out because he didn't hustle, right? He didn't hustle after a fly ball or something, and he took him out in the middle of an inning. Like, can you imagine? I can't imagine that happening now. I just can't.
Things are so much different. But that was a different time, and that was a great, even though the Mets weren't that great in the late 70s, that was some time in baseball with some of those players that you had, the Big Red Machine, the Yankees, the Dodgers. They had some great teams.
The A's,
and I can't,
early 70s.
Yeah, the A's were the early 70s. So, things were just different. But Chris, the hour is almost up. I cannot believe how fast it went tonight.
Had a really good crowd. A lot of good comments here.
Yeah, a huge crowd tonight. Maybe it's because of the snow going on,
I think so. Everybody's home, right? Thank you for checking in with us anyway. We appreciate it.
We had a really, really, really big audience tonight. So anyway, you got anything else to say before we I tell what's up for next week?
No, I think that's about it. Just thanking everybody for kind of hanging in with us, and we appreciate it. I know it's snowing outside, so you probably were like, I'm not going to go outside, and you put us on, and we appreciate it. And listen, if you're on YouTube, hit that like and that subscribe button for us. And if you like our show, come back again and be a part of the show again with the comments, because that's what makes the show fun, right? That's what to me makes it fun, is to have everybody commenting and to be part of. It's like a big conversation. It's not just it's just myself and Rob talking. We have everybody else coming in with comments and continuing the conversation, and that's what we love. So
Yeah, we
Join us
definitely
again.
love it.
You know, we
Yeah.
love it.
So
More than merrier.
so next week we will be on Monday at 3 p.m. and next Friday at 9 p.m. And I'll let you know about the guest list during the weekend if we have a guest coming on or whatever's going on. But Chris, another great show. Another
Yep.
great show.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. We'll see everybody Monday at 3 p.m. Thanks a lot.